This is Rockslapping Champions. Player 1, playing Zagara, we have Crispy Bacon. And player 2, playing Abathur, we have Shinigami. Let's have a look at the masteries over here. Zagara has gone for the Zagara attack damage mastery. Generally speaking, Zagara's auto attack damage is not very good. You should be going for the Zagara energy regen instead. It allows you to spam your abilities with Zagara. We have the Baneling damage not selected over here. We have the Zergling evasion. This one is a really hot topic in the co-op community as which one is better. Personally, I prefer the Baneling damage over the Zergling evasion. I know your Zerglings tend to get wiped very quickly when you're playing Zagara, but if you're pushing into enemy bases, you should be using the Banelings. You should have an army of Banelings to weaken the defenders or even wipe the defenders out combined with Frenzy. And Zagara's Baneling Barrage as well can deal a lot of damage to the initial attack waves. So personally I prefer the Baneling damage, but this is a debatable choice. And then we have the obvious choice here, Intensified Frenzy. Abathur has gone for Toxic Nest damage and a small number of points into the Mend healing. Mend I don't find very useful, and I believe the better choice here is the Toxic Nest damage. Symbiote ability, very, very good. And we have the Morph Evolution rate versus the Toxic Nest charges over here. So we're expecting not very many Toxic Nests coming out from Abathur, but that is a playstyle choice. As we can see over here, Abathur has very efficiently put down his Toxic Nests. He has put down nests mostly in the position where attack waves will generally not reach you, but we now have a few more nests on this side as well that will be used to deal with the initial attack wave. We have a macro hatchery coming here for Zagara. Zagara needs a few macro hatcheries to be able to ensure that she has enough production to sustain herself throughout the course of the game. So generally speaking, I will start off with 2 hatcheries. And as soon as I start floating minerals and I find that I'm actually started with larva, I'll add 2 more hatcheries to the mix to ensure that I have production. And sometimes even on longer missions like Mal Warfare or Missed Opportunities, I'll go up to about 8 hatcheries here. So a couple of Toxic Nests get focus fired down by some of the Reapers, but oh look, the Toxic Nest actually did damage. I'm actually surprised by that. These 2 are probably never going to deal damage, but I kind of find it surprising that that the nest was actually able to. The Reaper managed to get through there. But we have Zagara out right now, and Zagara is going to start working away and clearing the expansion. As you can see over here, Zagara's macro capabilities are insane. She has already saturated that base right now at like the 4-minute mark. That's how fast Zagara can ramp up an economy, and that's why Zagara, I think, is one of the most powerful commanders in the game. She has a very, very strong early game, and she doesn't need a late game because everything in the late game is already dead by that time. So, yeah. Abathur, on the other hand, is using a queen to take out the expansion. The optimal way of clearing your expansion is to put down 1 Toxic Nest and put down 2 Spine Crawlers and clear these rocks with the Spine Crawlers. But we have a Hunter Killer and a Frenzy coming down right now to deal with this. See, at this point, like that attack wave, I would have used Zagara's Baneling Barrage to clear the Reapers. Now, because it was Reapers, a Baneling Barrage will kill them regardless of whether you have the mastery points. But for stronger attack waves, like I think it's Zealots, I believe it is Zealots and other Protoss compositions, you can actually see a significant difference if you go for the Baneling damage mastery, because Zagara's Baneling Barrage is buffed by that mastery as well, and it makes her Baneling Barrage really, really scary. Queen has finally managed to take out that expansion. And production-wise, we have another Queen coming up for Abathur. Abathur is not... How many units does Abathur have actually right now? He has 2. He has 5 roaches over here. He doesn't seem to be interested in collecting biomass. Biomass is so important for Abathur, and on this map, it is actually relatively easy to collect biomass because there's a whole like clump of units that are sitting on this side. And you can probably get your first Brula Scout by clearing out whatever is there, plus the first attack wave. So, it should be Abathur's priority to clear units and get the biomass and get his first Brula Scout, because his first Brulas can help you with the first 2 shuttle waves, which is very, very useful for For a commander like Abathur, it takes time to get his more expensive units out. Still no expansion for Abathur. And Zagar is already in position. A bunch of hunter killers will be able to deal with this first shuttle escort, so it's not a problem. The queens over here, one queen already goes down to the hybrids. I don't think the other two queens are going to go down. Zagara has taken out the shells through her hunter killers and has cleared whatever is there. I believe Zagara wants to try and focus this next side down. So she has her frenzy ready, but this is the small enemy camp I was talking about for Abathur. He should be farming that that area for his biomass. But as you can see, like Abathur is more interested in spreading his creep more than anything. Zagara is just going to start working away and clearing this objective area, which is good. I believe at some point Zagara will want to push and clear this enemy base here. It'll help in spawn camping. Unit-wise, we have 9 roaches and 6 queens from Abathur. Still no mutalisks. First bonus objective has already left its science facility over here and is working its way towards the Zelnaga shrine. But as you can see, Abathur is more interested in spreading creep. He's not using his toxic nests to give biomass. Toxic nests give biomass, like they give you more biomass when you kill units with them, or even when you damage units. You should always be using your nest to farm that biomass rather than spread creep with it. Abathur doesn't really benefit much from creep. We have a frenzy going down right now, and you can see the Zerglings with evasion are relatively good. They have a lot of sustainability, but so Abathur is over here, taking out this side. Zagara is clearing here, and the shuttles are working their way over here. Okay, Zagara has noticed these shuttles now, so the shuttles will go down. But there's also an attack wave on this side, and it is working its way towards Abathur's base. And there are Reapers on this attack wave. So Reapers are, again, pretty nasty. Shadow Tech compositions deal a lot of damage. And let's have a look at these slots right here. We have 5 drones, 6, 7, 9. All these drones go down. Abathur loses a hatchery, he loses a queen over there, he loses his 2 extractors. So his expansion has just been deleted from the map. 2 toxic nests on this side kind of help a little bit, but it's now going to start focusing on his Roach Warren. Will the Roach Warren go down? I believe the links from Zagara might be enough to save the Roach Warren. Only just. With 4 HP that Roach Warren survives. Will that Roach Warren go down? Okay, that Roach Warren survives. It survives with 7 HP. And over here, Zagara has already cleared out whatever's left of the attack wave. And Zagara is ready, I believe, to push into the next enemy base. But yeah, my preference is, like, before I want to push, I'd be flowing a lot of gas, so I'd make a bunch of Banelings, I'd cast Frenzy, or I'll drop my Hunter Killers, drop my my Roach drop, and then cast Frenzy. And usually that is more than enough to clear out almost everything in the base. I don't really need to rely on the Zerglings very much. The buildings don't really pose much of a threat. It's mostly just the units over there. The Zagara is pushing over here. This is very, very good practice in any co-op game. Always try and clear the enemy bases. When you're playing with a commander like, Zagara doesn't really have a lot of good stag defenses. But when you're playing with someone like Swan has amazing turrets. The spinning dizzies are absolutely incredible when it comes to dealing with air units. So if you're Zagara and you're able to clear, you can have your allies spawn camp these launch bays with his spinning dizzies, and then you can basically just go AFK because those buildings will not go down and you will win the game. That's how effective Swan can be. So very good play here from Zagara. We have a bunch of units here for Abathur who are parked on this side. These shuttles are not even going to get to Abathur's army. Zagara is just going to clear everything here before it even gets past this little ridge. The one thing I have noticed though is there's no Scourge nest for Zagara. Okay, there's a Scourge nest. I think Zagara needs a lot more Scourge though. It'll make her life a little bit easier if she just has if she has some Scourge. We have another Frenzy going down now, and that will allow Zagara to clear the central base. Abathur, on the other hand, is just chilling around on this side. And now there's another attack wave here, and it is going to make its way towards Zagara's expansion, I believe. So we have a couple of Brutalisks who have been tasked with dealing with this attack wave, but this is a Shadow Tech attack wave. There are Liberators, and there are Hybrids, and there are Marauders, and they deal a lot of damage. So as you can see here, the Brutalisks, one Brutalisk goes down, two Brutalisks go down, and a bunch of Roaches. There is a Mend coming up on Abathur's side, but that doesn't save some of the Roaches. A random flyby by Zagara. That was, I think, unintentional. I think Zagara had just moved her Scourge there, but the Scourge ends up saving what is there of Abathur's army. Secure Missile had gone down on some of the Scourge there. Abathur is looking at this side and is confused as to why there's nothing over there, but Zagara, as I said before, just deletes everything before, like, during the mid-game. There is pretty much nothing left on the map. Zagara is so powerful, such a hyper-aggressive commander. She has absolutely no problems in just deleting enemy bases. And as you can see over here, the Zagara gameplay is really good. I would just very much like to see a lot less Zerglings, a lot more Scourge, because as you can see here, Zagara is kind of struggling to deal with the air units. On this mission, you want to have a lot of suicide units. So if you want to clear the enemy bases, what you can do is convert your Lings to Banelings and use it to clear the enemy base. So as you end up losing your Lings, you can convert them to Scourge and use the Scourge to deal and spawn camp these launch bays. Another attack wave comes over here, and Zagara has again no problems dealing with this attack wave. So let's have a look at the total units lost over here. Total units lost, we have 2 Brutalisks, 5 Queens, 15 Roaches from Abathur. We have 216 Lings, but like I said, Zagara doesn't really care. A bunch of Hybrid Dominators on this side, and this is where it gets really difficult for Zagara, because the Hybrid Dominators can deal spell damage, and the Lings cannot evade spell damage. So having a bunch of Banelings there can just instantly kill a Hybrid Dominator. But again, Zagara just doesn't really care. Zagara has so much production, and because her units are cheap and disposable, even if you lose something like, 250 Lings right now, it just doesn't matter for Zagara at all. We have a bunch of Aberrations in the mix now. This choice I don't particularly agree with. Like, having the Aberrations here really doesn't add much to the mix. Aberrations are good against armored units. They're good in missions where you need sustain against a ground composition. So the first thing that comes to mind is Minor Evacuation. You want to have Aberrations. But at this point, like, Zagara she can use her free Banelings, and then the rest of the units that she should have is Scourge, because as you can see here, the units are actually, she has no Scourge left right now, or she has very little Scourge left, and it's not going to be enough to take out these shuttles. So a few too many Lings, I think, in this composition. But Abathur is going to start working his way and try and take out this shuttle over here. Again, I'm not even going to bother. Like, Zagara is going to have no problems dealing with this shuttle. So we're dealing. We have a map over here where you are dealing with an air composition, and I believe Abathur does not. He has a Spire, but he has no Mutalisks. So he has 0 Mutalisks from Abathur, and now this Hybrid Dominator is just going to start skilling and killing the Queens over here. There should be a lot of Fs in chat for the number of Queens that were lost there. So 13 Queens have gone down right now, because Hybrid Dominators are pretty nasty. But Zagara comes in to clean up whatever's left. Cyclones are trying their best to kite these Zerglings, and this is one of the reasons why Cyclones are ridiculously annoying. Shadow Tech compositions are by far, I think, the most annoying compositions in the game, because they have Cyclones and all other sorts of units that are just there to annoy you. But Abathur over here is enjoying his Grand Army. Okay, he's put a few Mutalisks now into his mix, but he has no economy. This is actually very rare. Like, Abathur is normally a commander that floats a lot of minerals, so generally what would happen in the game over here is Zagara would clear this, and Abathur would put down a few few creep tumors and just spawn camp this area with his spore callers. They're not great, but you know, there's some kind of defense. As you can see over here, Zagar just completely clears the side. Crispy Bacon says Toxic Nest on spawning points will be helpful. That is correct. The effective Abathur play here would be to put Toxic Nest on this side and to put Toxic Nest on here. And as soon as attack waves spawn, they will die to the Toxic Nest. You can see Zagar is already pinging these sides. Now this is significantly less effective when you're dealing with an air comp, such as Shadowtech. Shadowtech has a lot of air units in the composition. But when you are dealing with compositions that are purely ground, like Protoss Techie, or Protoss Gateway, or Robo Reaver, it really helps to have an entire attack wave just be deleted as soon as it spawns. And Abathur's Toxic Nest can do that. As we can see over here, I believe Zagar is starting to add a lot more Scourge to her mix, to the mix of her units, because I think she had a little bit less problems dealing with it. So yeah, Zagar should not be producing any more. We get another bunch of pings over there. Crispy Bacon wants like more Toxic Nest on that side. I believe Abathur is more interested in spreading his creep with his Toxic Nests. We have a bunch of Toxic Nests here, which is kind of promising. So I'm kind of hoping that he has a plan to use this for spawn camping. But again, Abathur should be at around 5,000 minerals right now, but because he lost his expansion in the early game, it's kind of pushed his economy back. So I'm not really sure what his plan is for those nests. Those nests are not really going to deal a lot of damage, but as you can see, the Scourge over here is just instantly one-shot that spawn. And I believe they'll be making their way here. But you can see there are too many Zerglings over here that don't really do anything. But we get a Frenzy over here to try and aggro this. Unfortunately, this thing survives, but Abathur is now in position to try and take this thing out. The next set of spawns, there'll be one more on the central side here, and there'll be one more to the left. So Zagar is in position over here, but again, the lack of Scourge is like giving her a lot of problems. She doesn't have around a bunch of pings over there. I think she's telling her ally to go into that side because she's got this one. But we have a bunch of Scourge on this side now. Scourge take out the hybrid, take out some of the units here, and they should be able to take out the shuttle as well. And down goes that shell. Next attack wave has spawned over here, but I do not believe the mission is going to continue until that time because that is GG.